Brittany Copeland. We are here at the Mark for the premiere of RBG, a documentary about Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg, who has served on the Supreme Court for 25 years. She's the second woman to ever do so.
Well, you know, one intriguing thing about her, frankly, is the fact that she's become this pop culture icon. To have an 84-year-old teeny little woman who's a grandma become suddenly someone that gets this like crazed celebrity status. I mean, when she showed up at Park City today to do a Cinema Cafe talk, there were people out there, you know, holding up their cell phones. There was a woman who had gotten up at 5 in the morning with the hope, literally, of catching a glimpse of her. Like, there's something interesting. Like, what's driving that? What's that all about? And like, what's the real life story behind her that makes people so drawn to her?
I think it's pretty clear that Ruth Bader Ginsberg is one of the most interesting cultural figures of our time, whether it's in politics or entertainment. She crosses all the lines, and you know, there's few people in America that have done more, meant more, and have accomplished as much. And so I think for CNN, it was a natural fit to want to look at her life.
There's no question that every single woman in America owes her a debt, because she fought for women's rights in the early 70s when discrimination was just taken for granted. There were thousands of laws that discriminated against women. Lots of people didn't think that they even existed, or if they did, they protected women. And through her strategy, her legal strategy, her smarts, she figured out how to bring a series of cases and to convince 9 male justices that this just wasn't fair. The U.S. Constitution should apply equally to men and women. So, hey, we all owe her a debt.
Well, this documentary has incredible stories and footage of her entire life. I think a lot of people know, you know, her tenure on the Supreme Court, the last 25 years. What they don't know is that she accomplished a lifetime before that, and really is responsible for having done more for women in America than probably anyone else. And I think they'll learn that incredible backstory.
You know, I think people are going to learn about her history, which a lot of people don't know. Most people that are fans of Justice Ginsburg are mostly familiar with her work on the Supreme Court and her new persona as the notorious RBG. They don't know about the cases that she took in the 1970s, fighting to secure equal benefits for a woman in the Air Force and a man in the Air Force, for instance, or a widower who wanted to be the primary caregiver for his young toddler who couldn't get the same benefits that a woman could get if she were raising a child alone. Like, she broke through so many things, and people love her, but they don't know the full story, and we're excited for them to see the full story.
I also think that you're going to learn a lot of fun things about Justice Ginsburg. She works incredibly hard. She's an amazing night owl. She sometimes sleeps really late on the weekends. She's an adventurer. She loves to horseback ride. She's been known to parasail. She's really physically very courageous person, but the one thing she can't do, she doesn't cook. Which brings me to the other thing you're going to learn about her, which is she had a really admirable and a very romantic 56-year marriage with Martin Ginsberg, who was her soulmate. He was also the primary cook in the family, in addition to being a very successful tax lawyer. But when her career started to take off and she was winning cases in the Supreme Court and then eventually appointed as a judge, he took a back seat and he supported her career. She says that without Marty, she wouldn't be on the Supreme Court. So that's a pretty inspiring story, we think.
At 84 years old, Justice Ginsburg is the oldest member of the nation's highest court, and she is not going anywhere, at least for the foreseeable future. She has hired several law clerks that will be with her until 2020. Make sure you stay with Park City Television. We will have much more from all of the red carpet premieres at Sundance.